This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 643, an excerpt from the book The Power of No by Dr. Christiane Northrup. Hello, everybody. Happy middle of the week. I am your host, Greg Audino, and I'm just delighted to share and narrate relationship content to you each weekday. Today's post features an excerpt from a book on the importance of establishing and maintaining boundaries. Oh, good. Maybe this is the day I'll finally learn how to do it myself. I'll share some info about the author right after the reading, but first, just a reminder to check out the other podcasts in the Optimal Living Daily Network. There are shows dedicated to personal development, finances, health, and even a life advice column hosted by moi. All great content tailored to help you in different ways, if we do say so ourselves. But for now, we are going to stick to relationships as we do. Let's get right into the excerpt and start optimizing your life. An excerpt from the book The Power of No by Dr. Christiane Northrup. One of the most powerful tactics you can take to put yourself first is to create boundaries. Boundaries come in all shapes and sizes, from a complete cutoff to a managed minimization. Boundaries are absolutely key to your sanity, particularly if you suspect that your vampire has borderline personality disorder. Obviously, the best thing you can do to avoid being narcissistic supply is to completely cut off communication, end the marriage, break up the relationship, quit the job. But for many of us, this tactic won't work. You can't just walk out on your husband if you have children together. You can't just quit a job if you need money. And what if your vampire is one of your children? In any of these instances, the goal is to figure out how to minimize contact, or at least minimize being taken advantage of, as much as humanly possible. One of the best ways to minimize your interaction with energy vampires is to become empowered in the negative. In other words, learn how to turn people down, even if you have to hurt them a bit in the process. This is essential. Be like those old drug commercials. Just say no. I know what you're thinking. If saying no were so easy, I would have already started doing it. But here's the thing. Saying no just takes practice. It is possible to say no in a way that doesn't injure the person you're talking to. It's all about compassion, which you have in spades. If no doesn't come easily to you at first, then at least say, I'll get back to you. The main thing you need to master is to stop the knee-jerk yes. Here's a good way to say no. I'm so honored that you asked, but I simply must decline. I know you'll understand. Here's a quick exercise that you can use as you start to practice your no. The next time someone asks you to do something, take a breath and tune into how you're feeling. Does your stomach drop when you think of saying yes? Are you excited? Are you annoyed that they asked? By paying attention to these sensations, you'll know pretty quickly if you actually want to say yes. And if it's not a yes, it's a no. If it's a no, always remember that if you say yes when you want to say no, your ambivalence will adversely affect the energy of the entire endeavor. You aren't doing anyone any favors with your yes. Start out saying no on a small scale. Do you want a soda? No. Is it okay for me to throw my coat on your bed? No. Please put it here instead. Is it okay if I eat while we talk? No. Watch how a 2-year-old does it. That's the age at which we naturally develop boundaries and learn the word no. My 2-year-old granddaughter delights me when she doesn't like something I'm doing and says, Lulu, stop it, loud and clear. Once you get a bit more comfortable saying no or I'll get back to you, for the little things, you can move on to the big things. But don't just jump in. Imagine a big situation where you want to say no, but haven't had the guts to in the past. Walk yourself through it, step by step. You might even bring to mind a situation in which you said yes when you meant no. How did it turn out? Did you end up being pleased that you said yes? Or, as so often happens, did the situation just get worse and worse? There is no time in the unconscious. When you replay a situation or feeling as though it were happening in the present, it reinforces the situation. Neither the mind nor body knows the difference between the past and the present. They don't know if you are experiencing something in the present moment or in a memory. All they know is that you are experiencing an emotion associated with a situation. That's real enough for the brain to log this as a real experience. And when you do this repeatedly, you grow neural pathways that determine how you will react in your life. So the goal in this visualization is to create a neural pathway that helps you say no. Go back into that same situation, and in your imagination say, I simply can't. Practice saying it over and over again. Do this until it becomes so automatic that it will be the first thing you think of to say. And remember this, no excuse or explanation is necessary. Just say, I simply can't. No discussion necessary. You don't owe them a thing. Now, go on to a different situation. Imagine a friend asking you to go out with them to do something. Imagine the sinking feeling in your gut, but the simultaneous feeling that you don't want to let them down or disappoint them. And then figure out the exact words you would use to turn your friend down. Picture yourself saying those words and picture your friend's response. Walk through the fear, and then do it again. Replay this movie over and over until it doesn't elicit fear in you. Once you face down your fears of saying no, you'll be much better able to stick to situations that don't drain you. You just listened to an excerpt from the book, The Power of No by Dr. Christiane Northrup. You know, guys, on both Optimal Relationships Daily and Optimal Living Advice, there's a lot of talk about the immense value of therapy. And one of the most convenient ways to get therapy, the future of therapy really, is BetterHelp. BetterHelp offers online counseling and therapy with licensed therapists from wherever you are and around your schedule. They have counselors specializing in depression, stress, anxiety, self-esteem, anger, grief, and so much more. And they make it super convenient in that there are 4 communication modes. There's text, there's chat, phone, and video. Not to mention it's available on desktop, mobile web, Android, and iOS apps. Anything you share is confidential, and it is not a crisis line. This is professional counseling and therapy with licensed therapists, which is not only important, but also affordable, as BetterHelp has financial aid available. As a matter of fact, Optimal Relationships Daily listeners get 10% off the first month with discount code ORD. So why not get started today? Go to betterhelp.com/ORD. Simply fill out a questionnaire to help them assess your needs and get matched with a counselor you'll love. That's betterhelp.com/ORD, and I have that linked in this episode's description. Dr. Northrup is a board-certified OBGYN, New York Times best-selling author, how are you, and a visionary pioneer in women's health. You can find her online at drnorthrup.com. That's drnorthrup.com. And a big thanks to her for today's post. There is nothing that makes me want to bash my head against a wall more than these self-help plateaus about how easy it is to make huge changes if you just decide to do it. It is not easy. Limiting beliefs or what have you, they're all there for a reason. They've been harvested for years. Many changes need to happen slowly, thoughtfully, and with practice in order for people to maintain their sanity. And I thank Dr. Northrup for understanding that and encouraging people to be patient with themselves and who they are, and to approach change gracefully without feeling guilty for being nervous to just flip their lives upside down on a whim. Doesn't work that way. But that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for listening, team. I will see you back here tomorrow with a post on being truly present in your relationships, where your optimal life awaits.